Okay, it is Friday the 12th, it's episode 95, it is Chocy Chat, it's chocolate tasting night actually, it's a Chocy Chat, Chocy tasting session tonight. So, how is everybody doing? Should we wait for a few people to join? I think Michelle is going to join me in a minute and we're going to get on with, I hope everybody's got their little samples and all their little bits and pieces there. It's been an amazing week. It's Friday the 12th, it's episode 95 and it is Chocy tasting night. So how is everybody doing? I can see everybody's joining us now. So Paula, Sweet Cocoa, who else? Stuart's there, I can see Paula there, Fusion Chocolate, Challen Island Chocolates, hello, Sarah Pateman, Sugar Sheila's joined us. As well as, who else have we got here? Bitology, we have got Scotch Chocolates, howdy, Pretty Fancy's joined us. I think you guys are back in. This is Will and Mariba. I think they were here with me last week doing a hands-on. We have quite a few hands-on classes last week. More tomorrow, more next week. So they were here in the lab with me last week doing a hands-on, but they were in the Chocy Chat as well. So it was kind of quite cool. It was lovely having them here. And who else do we have? Linda here during the week, who's changed she's changed her page to Art in Chocolate. Give her a follow. I think most of you all know Linda anyway in Chocy Chat crew. So Mother Baker's there. How's everybody doing? I'm just going to wait for Michelle. I think she'll be around in a minute. Maggie at Marvellous Chocolates. Maggie, how are you feeling? Hope you're better. Yes, we've all missed you, and I hope you're on the mend, definitely. Right, did anybody see what Jason just posted, JCC Chocolates? Did anybody... He's posted one before, but I was on the floor, absolutely wet myself laughing. So was Rania. Oh my God, Jason, he's a talent on film, isn't he? If you haven't seen that, I've reposted that to my highlights. Absolutely brilliant. So, Nadia's there. Hi, Nadia. Styling Chocolates. Crunchy, glittery chocolates. Not bad. Hard work, confusing. Hard work, it shouldn't be hard work. I've been making chocolates all day. I'm going to show you some of the ones that I did earlier. So, AD70, hello there. Tilia Chocolates, Molly, how are you doing? Right, Art in Chocolate, that is my very good friend Linda. Right, Michelle has joined us. Susie Floozy's there, and Kelly. Right, Michelle, do you want to send me a... Scottish Chocolates. I'm embarrassed I've no samples left. I went for the other size of samples. Let me just find... right, hang on. Michelle, do you want to send me a invite if I can't? Where is it? Yeah, I think a few of you... There we go. Michelle, you are going to join me, right? I'm not going to do this on my own tonight, surely. We're going to have a talk about this, so... let me try and do this way. I can't send a Michelle, I can't send a request to you. You have to send it to me unless I've missed it. Have I missed it? Hands up though, who's got any chocolate, who's got any samples left to actually try? So right, let me just read through these. Have I missed? Let me have a look. Bear with me a minute. God, I always get so technical on this, isn't it? Michelle, you need to send me a request. So it might be... I'm just scrolling back and forth to see... Have I missed it? It's nice to see that it wasn't just me that ate all the samples before I should have. So, Paula's saying, "Oh, you still got samples?" Okay, I think Mother Baker's saying the army don't do technical. No, we don't. Not at all. Michelle there. Michelle, can you send me an invite because I can't do it from my side. You don't know where the button is to request. There's normally a little camera that you can press. Let me. I've just sent you an invite, Michelle. They keep moving all the buttons and stuff, don't they? It's like, how are you supposed to find everything? So, right, Michelle, I've just sent you. I just sent you that request. Bear with us, people. It's not working. Right, I'm gonna go through some of these comments. Here we go.
Hi, I'm sorry, James. I was trying to do it from a laptop, and I can't find the button on my laptop.
The controls on the laptop, and there's something else I discovered, because I've got a really good iPad, and when I go onto Instagram, I can't do live and I can't do other stuff, so it's kind of like.
Well, I'll do it from I'll do it from my phone, but it might run out of charge. Sorry.
How's your week? Good? Busy?
Yeah, very good. Very been busy.
Flying here, there, and everywhere, or are they just like posts from going back?
I was in Spain last week and the week before.
Wow.
And I was in London at the Pan Pacific this week, doing some training with them.
Yeah, it's all that. Happy days. Right, chocolate then. Is that everybody's got their samples? We had a conversation and we shared some notes, and I kind of went ahead and bought some bigger bags because I wanted to make some stuff this week. So I kind of had a taste of them a little bit earlier on. I know that we had a conversation, and when you first, I think you were on the way back from the airport when you phoned me and said you've got to try this ICAM chocolate, right?
Yeah.
And there's a couple in here that they're outstanding, I think. And I know you think that too. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the white?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to start with the white, aren't we?
Start with the white and move across, and just kind of explain why, because I got to use these in production today. So I've done shelling, I've made ganaches as well. And there's a couple of observations that are really, really positive for me. And there's a couple of things that I noticed. With the white, do you want me to explain? Do you want me to explain this one? Why this is? Because we were going to, as a price point, they're similar to Caliber, right? I think it's fair to say. But they are very, very different. So the price point's similar, but they're very, very different products. What I found with the white is how much more milky it is and less sweet.
Yeah, so there's between 10 and 11% less sugar in it compared to the Caliber white.
I've got a team over here joining in as well, so they're on the bigger bags. I'm on my little
yeah, I've got the little ones with me, but I've got the big ones as well.
So the white. Do you know what I noticed today? I shelled with them, absolutely brilliant. About 3 drop. They shell really, really nicely. So it's about a 3 drop. Not as sticky as W2 by any means. What was interesting, you know, when you make a ganache with W2, it kind of goes see-through.
Yeah.
Because it's got so much more milk in it, it's not. Yeah,
there's a lot more milk solids in it, so it's a lot more creamier. I'm usually a big fan of white chocolate. I mean, I like it in desserts because you can pair it with things like passion fruits and raspberries for the tartness. Yeah. But as a chocolate itself, I'm more of a dark person when it comes to chocolate. Yeah. But this I actually really like. It's got a lot more. There is a lot more milk solids in it, so it's got more milky.
It's got a longer flavour.
Yeah.
But there is a very, very slight salt tone to it, which I quite like. But I think the interesting is the amount of milk that's in there makes that very, very different. And I think the price point just makes it a massive forerunner, right? That being my go-to white. Because it's not as sweet, I can just get more tartness. I like, certainly bonbon filling. I like that it's not, I prefer it like kind of not savoury, but just a little bit more acidic, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. And shelling, I did some shelling as well. And I found them really easy to shell. It was, I agree with you about a 3 drop. It was really nice and fluid. And sometimes white chocolate can be a pain where it can over temper and go really, really quickly.
The more sugar that goes in it, they're the ones that I shelled today.
Nice.
Well, I turned those out a little bit earlier. And that one's got a yuzu in it. When I made that with the white chocolate, the Edelweiss, normally when you pipe it, it's see-through and it's a bit, because I just know that there's a lot of sugar and a lot of cocoa butter, not much milk solid. This seems to be the other way around. There's not as much sugar, but there's more milk solid. So it's a much nicer white, in my opinion. The next one, I didn't order any of the Prestige, so I only got this 32 milk to try. I really like that.
We're going for the Prestige. You're going for the caramel first.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, that'd be the right order, wouldn't it? This is an interesting one.
Yeah, I've not stopped dipping my hand in the bag.
Oh god, it's quite quaffable. So there's a couple of observations with this one. Because it's a caramel just made with sugar, it's very, very different to Gold or Zephyr, which is made with caramelized sugar and caramelized milk. When you caramelize the milk, it can be a little bit bitter, which is why they put more salt into it. When you melt this one down, it looks like it could be very grainy. Okay, the taste is bang on. It's not really, really sweet, which I love. It's shelled fantastically. Have I got one nearby? I'd have to grab one. Is that one?
I'm pleased you got one.
It's shelled really, really well. It looks like it could be quite grainy, right? When it's melted, but it's not. So the look are a bit sim, but it's nothing like Zephyr or Gold. But it's a better flavour, in my opinion. It's a better flavour than those two, because they are so high in sugar. Yeah,
it is a lot less sweet. And again, you're just treating it the same as your white chocolate when you're working with it. In terms of your ganaches, I would say anyway, personally. But yeah, no, I really did like this one.
This one, yeah, that started as a 4 kilo bag, but it's not that now for sure. It's gone way down. So
when I went to take that one from the office, everyone helped themselves to my bag before I left.
I mean, there's lots of people here saying that they love the caramel. It made a really lovely tasting ganache. Slightly grey looking. But I mean that's obvious because there isn't caramelized sugar in it, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't let the looks deceive. The looks could be deceiving on this one.
I think the flavour notes on this one last a really long time, and you can really tell it's not got any artificial flavouring in there. No. It is just literally the caramel.
And then there was it's the salt. I know that if I compare it to the other Zephyr. I like Zephyr, but it's a 5-drop, so what you can do with it, you're kind of limited. You certainly can't shell. Well, you can. You just have to do it 3 times. The Gold is a little bit too sticky. I don't think it's a 3-drop. I think it's lower. I think it's kind of nearer to a 2. Whereas this is a good 3-drop. I found shelling with this really, really easy today.
Yeah.
Really, really. It's really fluid, really nice fluidity to it. It's just that it looks a little bit grainy, and that's not a criticism. It was just, well, I'm quite ready for that. Really like it. I think I like the white so far as my favourite. I think the caramel is just, I like caramelized chocolate, so and I even like the caramelized milk chocolate, so it's a winner. Have you made anything with the caramel?
Not with a caramel, no. I literally, because I was in London, it's kind of put me back a few days on doing some bits and pieces. I've shelled with all the other ones.
Yeah.
And I've made ganaches with the dark ones.
Yeah.
And the flavour profiles, which we'll go on to in a minute with the dark ones, I thought was really
yeah. The flavour profiles of the milk and the dark are really, really interesting, actually. I know we had a conversation about that one. Do you want to have a look at next? The Mabel or probably the 32 Prestige? I
think we should go the Prestige.
Yeah. This is really interesting because I'd have sworn this was 823. Right? It's caramelly though, isn't it?
It is. It has got a very after caramel taste. I had some extra. It's also got a lower sugar content than the 823.
Yeah. perfect for shelling, really good for ganaches. We made truffle, David. We made all of those today.
Wow.
I've been a busy boy today, so we did all those with that. So with the bit of prestige that I had. So really, really nice, interesting flavour because it's got a length of flavour and some really good cocoa notes higher up. It just lasts a little bit longer because it's not as sweet as 823. I just think it's a really good all-rounder. And it was 3-drop, right?
I had it a little bit. I had it about 2.5.
Right.
I reckon. But yeah, I found it just a little, obviously comparing it to the white, just a little bit thicker.
Yeah, the drop system's not an exact science though, is it? So.
And I guess as well, it depends on what you're used to shelling with.
Yeah, I mean, it's not common for me to maybe thin chocolate a tiny bit with a percentage of cocoa butter if I need to. Don't often do that, but if I need to, yeah, well. I really like that. I think those first 3 are going to be my go-to chocolate topping. And I'll mix them, I like Luke chocolate, but a lot of them are 4-drop, so it's quite hard to get, every use out of them. I think the next 2, the Mabel that's stunning.
So I presented the Mabel today to the Pan Pacific, the other day to the Pan Pacific. I was making vegan chocolate mousse with it. Yeah. And it was a winner. That
is, it really, really is something. A 56. I couldn't believe it was a 56. You know that? It's quite, kind of. I got the idea that it was, if somebody said to me it's 45, I've gone, yeah, okay, but very versatile. And the shelling, I did the majority of the shelling with that today. Says that it's a medium fluidity.
Yeah,
bang on.
For me, it was a 3-drop, and my shells on those were it shelled really nicely.
It made ganaches really nice. It was the 72 that I liked ganaches though. I'll explain what, because that's more of a 5-drop. But that's got a really, really long flavour on it.
The Mabel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is an absolute, like 811 all-rounder. That's a really, really good all-rounder. It's just a bit more higher up, right? Did you make any mousses or anything with that?
Mousses with it, yeah.
Yeah.
It was for the mousse. It was really, really nice. Really nice texture. Really nice flavour.
Did it keep it? Did it stay quite dark?
It did stay quite dark. Yeah.
I couldn't. Those first 4, I don't know if I could choose my favourite.
Really, that's good.
Yeah. The white's got so many applications because it's not as sweet, and I kind of like that. Caramel, I like that it's not caramelised milk in it. It just gives you other options because it's got flavor to it. The Prestige, you didn't have enough of it to do lots of things with, but the Mabel, that is a winner. It's a really, really, really nice, well-made, really nice. The 72 then, this is an odd one, this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
very acidic.
Yeah, it's got real acidic notes to it. It's saying fruity and spicy.
Yeah. I got cinnamon more than anything. And fruity, it's acidic, so it starts, you kind of think of lemon and orange, but kind of more grapefruit. It is very, very acidic. However, I made ganaches with that today, and because it's a 5-drop, so I wouldn't necessarily shell with that. Because it's a 5-drop, that makes the ganache better. And when we do, when we formulate the recipes, you normally put some cocoa butter in to change the fluidity of a ganache.
Yeah.
With that 72, you don't need to do that. So you're not diluting it. You're not. So the flavour profile in the ganache that I made remains the same all the way to the end. Even though I diluted it down with cream, and I used glucose. I used inverted sugar as well. That's really, really nice. I think if I was going to make tablets, that'd be my go-to, because
is the 5-drop.
Yeah.
It's unusual to find a 72 or a 70 a 5-drop. They're normally 4s and 3s. So, massive amount of cocoa butter in there.
Yeah. I was quite, I mean, the ganache that I made before, so like I did say to everybody, I have got some ganache recipes that I got from ICAM, which I am going to share with everyone. I did find the ganache recipe they did send me was quite firm.
Right.
I also literally made this about an hour ago, and already you can see, for me, that's quite thick.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to be careful. Well, for a ganache, you'd be using more cream, and more cream means it's cheaper, right? And as you know, you add cocoa butter to kind of change the fluidity back. That in a 72 and a 5-drop gives you the height of flavour, the length of flavour. Even though it's quite acidic, the cream would tone that down. I got a ganache that balanced really, really well. When I piped it, it laid level.
Yeah.
But when it went cold, it still remained kind of firm enough for me. So I might share the recipe that I've done for that. I'm still doing some research into the, we talked about glycerin.
Ah, yes.
Still going
Could I just touch on a...
should we just see if there's any comments?
I mean, the main thing about tonight for me as a point of view wasn't just to share the chocolates with you, but it was also everyone else's feedback, because we have such a lovely group here with the Chocky Chat, and you guys all make some amazing chocolates and you're using chocolate all the time. And if any of you do like these chocolates and are wanting to buy them, I'd kind of want to know what size you'd be looking at. Would it be a 4 kilo? Would it be a 15 kilo? Because Home Chocolate Factory, they've only just started stocking it, so they haven't got obviously masses and masses on stock. And they don't want you calling and saying, can I get this, this and this, and then them not having it. So it's also a point of view of if you wanted something, what sort of, I'd had a few people saying they want the 72 and the 15 kilos straight away.
Yeah.
We don't actually have this in a 15 kilo. We're going to order some in, but at the minute we've only got this in the smaller bags.
I think with certainly, looking at the average on Chocky Chat here, majority are smaller producers, but there are quite a few here that are bigger sized, right?
Yeah.
And this is ideal. There are different places that you can buy chocolate. I won't name the other ones, the other two. 4 kilo for me is ideal, because I always used to buy 2 bags of 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5 wasn't quite enough. I like the idea that they're 4 kilo. They don't self-seal, but then I think I'd open those up and decant them into something else anyway. I can't remember what I paid for those. One of those is around about £40 for 4 kilos, which is...
do you know what? That's one thing I didn't have with me today was the price.
Yeah, I didn't write that.
I gave them to you last time when we spoke, and I haven't got them with me.
I might have an invoice. I might.
And I haven't got my phone to go on to the website.
Let me tell you. The 72, the Vanini 72 was 4 kilos for £30. These are your price. The 56 was 26.69 for 4 kilos, which is an epic price.
I mean, it's just what we're selling, the other brands at just on our website. I don't know, that comparing to other websites and other companies, but it's
that Mabel
coming in cheap.
Mabel, 4 kilos for 26.69. Obviously, there's postage on top of that, but 26.69 for 4 kilos of that Mabel is epic price.
Yeah, no, definitely.
For an all-round.
I think so. And for everyone on the Chocky Chat, I did say that if you've already filled in the form, then I asked Home Chocolate Factory if they could continue the discount, and they've agreed that if you order from us, they're going to send you an email for the email address that you gave me, and you will get a 10% discount on order on the ICAM products.
Okay, so that's the UK chocolatiers. If you signed up for samples, you got email address, you'll get sent a 10% discount code. That's fantastic. The Edelweiss was 31.76 for 4 kilos. There's always a topic of conversation about how much white has gone up in price.
Yeah.
And I think recently I needed to get some W2 or something. And I think it came out just short of 30 quid for 2.5 kilos.
So I already know, because I've been informed, but Calibre are due to increase their prices again in June.
Wow. Okay. And then the caramel was 41 for 4 kilos. So it's still around about 10 a kilo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they are fantastic price. And I think they're really, I think it's a really beautiful product. And it's Agostini, it's an established brand, but the ICAM stands for something. It's Italian something manufacturing. Can't remember. I should have written it down, but I didn't. They're lovely chocolates. I think it's a real opportunity for that brand here.
Yeah.
Chocolate factory, I really do.
Like I said, my home chocolate factory, he spent quite a big time. We had so many people contacting us asking if we could get anything at a better price point. You know, the cost of all the running businesses now is going up. And he spent a long time, but obviously because we import all the cellmates, what Selmy are using, and they're a massive brand, and that's what they do over in Italy and all their machines. So it just made sense that we worked with ICAM because we're already working with Selmy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're also very sustainable. I spoke with ICAM today, so everybody that's not in the UK, unfortunately, I'm sorry that you didn't get any samples. However, I did speak with them today, and they are going to forward you any local suppliers that's close to you. So hopefully you will be in touch. Someone will be in touch with you.
There's some nice comments here. Flying Chocksman is saying, I wouldn't normally get a 72% dark, but this is lovely. So the Vanini's beautiful. The Mabel that's the one that got me. I like the caramel's really, really nice, but the Mabel as a 26.69 for 4 kilos. I don't know about you, Michelle. I don't always shell with a top-end chocolate. What I mean is, like, I would never buy, because it's diluted, isn't it? I've got the shell on one side with colour. Like, I just don't want to go with a really, really high, like, I'd use that for the filling.
Yeah.
You know?
I've used it in the same, because your shell is usually quite thin as well, you know, and it's got
2 grams
inside. The only time I'd ever do probably something different on the outside is if I was going to do a flavour release.
Yes.
So if I was going to show these in a minute, but ICAM are also doing their Norns range. So I'll go to that second. But it's basically a white chocolate that's got freeze-dried powders through it. So they've got a white one, they've got a passion fruit one, they've got a coffee and a blueberry. So basically you could have that on the outside, which is going to give you flavour and colour. And then on the inside have a contrasting flavour. So maybe passion fruit with raspberry. So have a passion fruit ganache in the middle and raspberry on the outside.
Is that, have you tried the Valrhona, is it Sensation? But that's the cocoa butter, the Valrhona stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
The flavoured cocoa butter as opposed to a flavoured chocolate. That's the flavoured white chocolate.
Yeah, it's a flavoured white chocolate. So with this one is baked stable. So this one actually isn't classed as a couverture in this state. So I'll open one up and just show you the pistils. The pistils are, they're more of like little square chunks. So they're baked stable. So for any of you that are making cakes and things like that, it's really good for ganaches.
Oh, wow.
You know, frostings and that sort of thing. If you want to make this into a couverture, you need to add 4% cocoa butter to it. And then the cocoa butter, then it's then fine for shelling. The guy did say to me, you can use it as a ganache like this, in this format. But again, when you were talking about formulations of maybe adding extra cocoa butter, then you would probably want to put extra cocoa butter in that to make it your normal recipe. But I found these are really interesting. So there's already a 10% discount on these at the minute, so you wouldn't get an extra 10% off. It's
I think Blue Chocolate did a post today about those. So I think if you have a look at their Instagram today, I think they did something on them. So,
yeah.
Let me see here. Find new chocolates.
The only thing I found with the Norns ones, the passion fruit one and the raspberry was very smooth and very clear. But the blueberry, you can actually see the grains through the blueberry.
Okay.
So it's if you're gonna cast with it, you would see the little speckles. And the coffee one, I still felt the grains. Maybe that's just because I'm a bit of a chocolate snob or not. I don't know. But I still found the grains on my palate when I tasted the coffee one. It was a really nice flavour. But But I mean, I've worked with the Sosa powders, the freeze-dried powders, and I've done them in chocolate, and I've used them in the concha and ground them myself and add cocoa butter. And for me, that just felt like I'd taken out a little bit early than I would have done normally.
Right. And that was what the blueberry one.
The flavours are really nice. But actually, it looks quite nice when it's melted down. Then obviously, they don't look so pretty when they're like this, but the little speckles do look quite nice. It's interesting. But the flavours are nice on those. But I wasn't expecting to get them in.
Real fruit, yeah.
It's real fruit, you know, at the end of the day. But I think it's now moving towards using, I mean, less artificial colours and less artificial flavourings, let's say, and going down a more natural route when it comes to flavouring.
I've got there's a few people here saying they have the 15 kilo. They're 4 kilo and 15 kilo, aren't they?
Yeah. And that was 15 kilo in which one? Did they say?
No, that was flying chocolate. I'd be going for a 10 to 15 kilo range if you had it. Is the lead time horrendous for the 15 kilos? Are you going to get some in, or?
We're going to get some in. So that's what I was hoping for tonight, was to get some feedback, and then we can start to get the orders straight in if people were going to go with it. We've got 15 kilo in everything else apart from the 72, because so far all the people that have been in and tasted it, 72 was actually the least popular out of all of the others.
Well, I got, you know, Susie here saying I usually buy 2.5 kilo. But the thing is, Susie, you get 4 kilos for about the same price as you buy Calibre at 2.5 kilos. So this is a winner. If 4 kilo is the minimum size, then, you know, it's good value, really good value. Okay. There's lots of people saying they'd have the 4 kilo.
Okay. Well, yes, we've got 4 kilo in everything. That's not a problem. So then, just touching on allergens, point of thing. So for those of you that tick no, you didn't want to be contacted, I'm still going to contact you for the first time to give you the discount code, to give you the spec sheets, and to give you the recipes. After that, I'll leave you alone. If you want anything, you can contact me in that side of things. But in terms of the allergens, obviously everything is gluten-free, everything is peanut-free, and is nut-free. Everything is kosher dairy and halal. And then we've got the 72 and the Mabel is got the kosher parvis certification, so they're actually vegan.
Which one? The
Mabel? The 72 and the Mabel.
The Mabel, yeah.
And when I spoke to the guy today as well, we spoke about, even though they're not single origin, because obviously all their Agostini are all single origin, the ICAM is a blend of different beans coming from different areas, but 50% is either coming from Africa and the rest is coming from Central America. He did say they don't buy from Ivory Coast due to obviously slave labour and all the rest of it. So they're working with, I think he said, about 350 farmers. They've got 2 big fermentation centres, so it's very controlled of where they're buying from. They're going in, they're educating the farmers and working, you know, to a sustainable level. And so they can control the supply chain, basically. They know where everything's coming from.
I was having a read of their history, the website, because that, like Agostini, who is our ICAM, they've been kind of market leaders, haven't they?
Yeah.
In the equipment, in the production, in the conching machines, and even they've been going since 1945, 1946.
Yeah, a really long time. So the other thing that I sent you as well is I've got 2 brochures. So these will be a downloadable link.
Okay.
And the brochures have got all the story in there. It's got all the products in there. It's got all the fluidity in there. And what you'd use it for the ganaches and everything. So when we were looking on the bags the other week and couldn't find it, it's all on here, which is really easy.
The fluidity wasn't on there. So if anybody wants to give me a shout, they can, or yourself. And once we get all the brochures out, then, you know, make it straightforward. I think the thing is, though, with the white and the caramel, and then the Prestige and the Mabel, they're all about 3-drop, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then, well, I've said this on the channel before, the drop system is not an exact science. you can, like, if you decide that your chocolate's 3 drop, you can say the 3 drop, right? You're not following any law or. So I know there are some chocolates. 823 for me is nearer a 2 drop than it is a 3.
Yeah.
Right. So in terms of a drop, those 4 would be great for production. The 72 is too thin. That's a 5 drop. It's too thin to shell with. But then for ganaches, it's absolutely perfect. And if I was doing tablets, so solid pieces, I'd be going with that anyway, right? Yeah. And if I was going to do double layer, so kind of like the Kinder Egg thing, so I do a dark chocolate and then back it with a white chocolate before it's crystallized. That'd be my go-to because you get a really, really thin layer. And then a 5 drop chocolate when you've got lots of edges is a good solution because there's no air bubbles. Thicker a chocolate gets, the more air bubbles, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's any questions. Somebody asked about fluidity on the packaging. We've answered that one.
There might be something I might ask them if it would be possible to do, would be to add it to their packaging. But I think once you start using it, you know, and if you can order, and if we make it clear on the website when you order what the drop-in system is, I think you kind of have an idea of what you're actually getting. You
get used to it. I think that you, every time you bag, you know, whatever chocolate you're using, once you've done it a couple of times, you kind of remember. So it's just knowing which one you want to buy. What I'd say is those first 4 that I showed up, the white, the caramelized, the maple, and the prestige, they're all about 3 drop.
Yeah.
So they're ideal. Certainly for the bonbon makers, perfect. They use this for Sell Me machines, so right, or Sell Me use this brand, don't they? Yeah, it's
the only brand that they put through their machines.
Right, so yeah, that's got to be a win if anybody's got that. So what else have we got? Some subscribes. We've got any questions for Michelle? Anybody? I think everybody's just saying how much nicer they are, better flavour. Stuart saying, "Oh, buy the flavour's better than the Belcolade." But there's some really. Can you read any of the comments here, Michelle? Chockies by Sarah. How soon can we order? Right away.
Yes, right away.
Sarah, you can order now. I've got.
So the email's going out Monday. So for Monday, you get the email code. So I would hold off till Monday, and then you're going to get 10% discount.
Hold off till Monday. This is all the stuff that I made today with the Prestige, with the with all the chocolates, right? I made all of these today. So we got plenty. I've used a whole lot today. Got some others here. I mean, certainly I did an order. You said if we wait till Monday, and they'll get a.
They'll get a 10% discount. Yeah.
10% discount. On Monday for anybody that, certainly UK, anybody that fills out the forms and got the samples, then you'll get that. So,
in terms of stock levels, like I said, they've got everything on stock apart from the 72 in 15 kilo is the only one they don't have on stock. They've got it in the 4 kilo. Everything else they've got either in the 15 or the 4 kilo. In terms of delivery, usually if you order before lunchtime, usually it's next day delivery.
Okay. So there's a question here. Will it just be Home Chocolate Factory? Yes, you are the sole importers of this product, aren't you? So,
yeah, we are the sole importers of the product. To be honest,
how long for delivery to Northern Ireland? It'd be that plus a day, wouldn't it? It's still considered.
Yeah, I reckon it would be. Well, so Mother Becky, did you get your samples already?
Mo did, yeah, I'm sure she did. So
the samples were either sent yesterday or the day before. So
let's not go into that.
Yeah,
Let's not.
But in terms of next day delivery, it's if you've got them today or yesterday, Mo, then that's how long it takes to get to you.
How do you come customers wanting a high percentage for the dark chocolate? Paula, what are you looking for? Because I think you're using the Santander, isn't that? That's an 82, 84, isn't it? That's in the Luca range. If you want a really... I think the highest you've got here is 72, Michelle, isn't it, on this one? You'd have to go for
in the ICAM. I mean, at the end of the day, you
Have
know.
you got an Agostini there that's a higher brand?
I've got an Agostini, but I'm not on the. Let me just pull up the website and I can. Actually, I wrote it.
Agostini and ICAM are the same thing.
They are,
ICAM
but
is the professional range.
More single origin. There's going to be a lot more flavour profiles. You're going to be paying a lot more. Well, not a lot more, but you're going to be paying more money than you are for the ICAM. So the ICAM is from a blend of cocoa beans, whereas the Agostini is more for single origin. So it's just coming from one plantation and one area.
Somebody sent one to charity in Zambia.
Yeah. She's got a post. She's got a postal box in the UK. It's gone there, and she's paying for the rest of the delivery to get it over there. If any of you wanted the Agostini and you wanted to order it in for yourself, I can't see Home Chocolate Factory saying no, but you just need to pay for it and then wait for the lead time for it to come in. Okay. And at the minute, I don't know what the lead time is coming from Italy. Obviously, when we get stuff in from Spain, I know that's 10 days. So.
Yeah, same for me. You know, I kind of post stuff all over the world, and there's Canada can get it within 4 days, and then the next order it takes 10 days.
Yeah.
You know, last weekend we had the coronation, and everything stopped Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then get back to normal until Tuesday. And you know, people that I use as couriers the van was so full I couldn't get my stuff on there. Right? So that's the problem with ordering. Not always in our control, but it all comes from Home Chocolate Factory, and you use various distributors, don't you? So
yeah, we do. So at the minute, I'm having talks with 2 distributors to buy from us and then sub-distribute out for us. And I think that's going to be a conversation had next week with those. So next week, if I have spoken and they decide to take the range, then I'll let you know who they are.
Okay. Well, Paula's got a question here. You might be able to answer this one. People are still saying that the percentage that she's using is not high enough. How do you talk to people over quality and taste? I think it is. She's looking for a higher percentage, or her customers are looking for a higher percentage. I think she's using like an 85,
right,
which is pretty bitter.
Pretty bitter. I mean, I would use, I've definitely used more higher chocolates, but I've always usually put something savoury in them. So obviously, because my background is more restaurants, I would put like maybe chicken liver parfait in an 85. There wouldn't be much else I would do with an 85.
It starts to, you know, you start getting much higher than that. It's like eating coal.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I think people, they see the percentage, and they seem to think that the higher percentage, the better quality the chocolate it is. And I think that's a bit of a misconception that customers sometimes have.
I go on stage. I do a live event every week on stage, and I start it off saying, I talk about the percentages, and I say it's got nothing to do with the quality. No. I can find 75% really high quality, and I can find a 45% even higher quality. It's nothing. It's just how chocolatey you like it. If somebody wants something really bitter, what I see happen is chefs use too much inverted sugar or too many sweeteners in a high percentage chocolate, and then dilute that bitterness or that high cocoa down.
Yeah.
Too much sugar.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. If you're doing fillings, you can look at maybe things like water ganaches.
Yeah.
If you're doing a water ganache, you're not lessening the flavour of the actual chocolate. You're going to get a more pure, intense hit of chocolate. So the mousse that I made with the Mabel in London this week, that was a vegan recipe. So I whisked up water with a potato protein and folded my chocolate through it. Wow. With a vegan mousse gelatine, and you know, the intense hit that you got from that was just the same as you eating that, only in a light, fluffy mousse format.
You don't want to make chocolate mousse with a low percentage, because it's just gonna, it'll look grey.
But anyway, you're not going to taste anything.
Find that in the competition, and they're like, you know, I've made a milk. When's those? Oh, I've made a milk chocolate mousse. I'm like, oh no. You've diluted it down 5 to 1. It's like,
yeah.
It looks like
you start with a dark and add cream, you've got milk chocolate, haven't you?
Absolutely. I think if somebody's asking for something to be more bitter, I would have a look at the Ganache formula and maybe remove some of the sugar, because I think you're diluting it down a little bit. But I can talk to Paul about that one separately.
Yeah, and if not, you could always get some 100% and add that into the Ganache. But then you're going to need to play around with the formula quite a lot.
How do you grate that 100% though?
You know what? You surprised at the chocolate I have grated in my lifetime. Souffle molds. I used to have grated chocolate on the outside of a souffle.
With Daniel?
Yeah. I've stood there and grated, I'm not going to say the brand, but I've stood there and grated quite a lot of chocolate for the outside of the souffle.
We used to have to put some into, so it was a red wine, and it was grated in at the last second. And you... boiling hot kitchen, you're like, nothing's coming out. All the commies walking around, all their fingers gone. And it's like, I just asked you to do like 100% chocolate. If you dropped it on the floor, you smashed the tile.
And I was just going to say something else. I used to actually grate it to make hot chocolate as well. I was delegated to do hot chocolates rather than the bar. I know, tell me about it.
Okay. And you didn't object?
Cream with sugar and chocolate in there. But the 72 actually makes a really nice hot chocolate, because you've got that nice strong flavour.
Yeah.
When you add the milk in there, that will make it. So I don't know if any of you have got coffee shops or anything like that. That would actually make quite a really nice hot chocolate as well.
Well, I said that with the Ganache. The Ganache that I made with that 72, really pleased with that, because I got the higher cocoa nut. But what I normally need to do is add cocoa butter to change the fluidity of the Ganache so it's pipeable. With that, I didn't need to, and it's like, right, well, I'll go with my normal formula and we'll see what happens here. Nailed it first go.
Perfect.
Full flavour, not diluted, and more on the savoury side, which is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So nailed it there. I really like that. Let's see if there's any more questions.
Everyone's really quiet on questions tonight, aren't they?
Are really quiet. Everybody's samples gone missing. I did do a post on. We've got a Chocky Chats Facebook group now. I bow to the pressure, but I did the first rule on there was you're allowed to taste the samples.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there is many. Look, I hope you get a decent amount of orders. This is a really interesting chocolate, and it's at a price point that I just think will help everybody, because it's when I'm not going to say the other. Well, I tried to order through Keylink, and I went away on holiday for 2.5 weeks. When I came back, I went to do an order, and I fell off my chair, because I just can't believe a massive change of price in that time. And these were just for entry level W2, 823, 811. Right?
Yeah.
It's quite shocking. These are a fantastic find. 4 kilo bags, perfect. And I think there's good variety there. And as I said, with the exception of the 72, the others are free drop, right? The only thing I say to watch out for is with this caramel, when you melt it down, it doesn't look like Zephyr, it doesn't look like gold. It's a different type of caramelization, right? It's just the sugar in there, not the milk solids, which is why it tastes so nice. Because when you cook milk solids, they change, right? I really like them. Anybody else got anybody else?
Susie's got one there. What flavours did you say you would recommend to mix? Do you mean on the outside and the inside, Susie?
Wait. Did you find? No, I think she was talking about. I think she was talking about the the little squares.
Yeah. So I said you could do coffee and passion fruit would work. So you could do coffee on the outside and passion fruit. Or actually, I'd do it the other way around. I'd do passion fruit on the outside and coffee on the inside. Thinking about it, because, like I said, it has got slight grains in that, and the passion fruit one is more smooth. So I would do passion fruit on the outside and maybe a coffee ganache in the middle. That would work really nice. Raspberry and passion fruit. Yeah, I know this might sound really silly, but I know a lot of the time when I've done desserts, I like to think of cocktails for flavours.
Yeah.
I think cocktails give you some good inspiration because they work. Otherwise, they wouldn't sell. So, you got the summer coming up. And then the other thing I always find is like your little fruit corner yogurts. Yeah. You've got yogurt with a fruit on the outside, those flavours are going to go. So if you're doing your yogurt ganache with a fruit, you have a nice fruit insert. They work and they sell for a reason.
I've always said that you can't, don't invent flavours. The ones that people like, they're already there. There's a reason that things like Snickers and Bounty, there's a reason that those have sold for so many years.
Definitely.
People identify with them. So when you're doing collections, you're doing mixes, I look at mine sometimes and think, well, you know, they're kind of a little bit plain. They're not. They're the ones that people want to buy.
Yeah, it's like Christmas caramels, you know?
You're not going to go wrong. So I try not to. I've come across some weird concoctions in my time.
I've done some weird concoctions in my time. I used to do, so when I was in summer, we used to have 10 different chocolates in the box to serve with people at their coffee. And I used to infuse piping tobacco, the chewing tobacco into one of them. There was a cherry tobacco. I would do curry chocolates, Baileys. But the customers that used to come back used to ask for it.
Yeah. You get, I don't know if the public or, like, you know Matt Gillen, right?
Yes, I used to work with Matt. Yeah.
Okay. So we were doing some bits and pieces, and he's an absolute flavour monster. So he just goes off in a direction that it makes sense, but you'd never get there yourself, right?
Yeah.
But I remember going over to the restaurant just after they got the star, and I'd taken a couple of chefs over there, and they were like, I don't really get it. And Matt said, just because you've not eaten enough yet. There's some stuff you can get away with. I think within a collection you can have a couple of oddballs, but if it's too weird and wacky, it could ostracize the whole market. So there's lots that you can do with caramel, there's lots that you can do with ganaches, and just because you can doesn't mean you should always, right?
Yeah.
If you're working at 2 Michelin star, you could probably get away with it, right?
The thing is, as well, it's a one-off, isn't it? It's not something you're going to have all the time. And if you're just going to have a one-off when you're out, you're probably going to try something different.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, the whole idea of going out,
and indulge on something that you enjoy. You're probably going to stick with something a little bit safer that you know that you like.
You wouldn't do, like, some of the stuff that, I know Midsummer, I know, you wouldn't do that stuff at home.
No. I'll say no.
And the stuff, because I young girls, and I've certainly worked that circuit, and the stuff that I really would love to do, and they're like, no, Dad, that's not really. That sounds no, because they just point blank refuse. So how you get to flavour combination, it's really, I think, how you link it together, isn't it? And it's it's a little bit easier in the pastry world. A lot easier. It's a bit more difficult in the savoury side. It's a lot of people like, no, definitely not. So, but yeah, cocktails is a good idea. If it works in a cocktail, it's going to work in chocolate, right?
Exactly. You know,
so,
we're talking summer now, so nice fruits. I've seen quite a few strawberry posts of chocolates coming up, which is really nice.
Elderflower is a tough one.
It is.
White chocolate. If that goes near any cocoa solids, you're going to have problems, right? I don't know if it's something I'd put. My compressor's just turned off. Elderflower is such a lovely summery one. I just don't know. Can only really go with white. I think this would be ideal because it's not sweet.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what I did do the other day. I made some. I've got a lovely violet tree in my garden.
Yeah.
And I made a violet syrup. And I'm going to give that a whirl with some of the white chocolate.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it'll work. It's not sweet.
Yeah.
Problem with W2 is it's too sweet, so it just kills every other bit of flavour. Somebody's asking, do you post to Saudi Arabia? Not chocolate, probably not. No.
I'm going to say probably not. I am. But like I said, if you want some details, then I'll resend the link for people outside the UK, and ICAM they will just pick it straight up because it's an online. The beauty of me doing the online order form, and why I was a bit like, I'm not taking your details, was that their spreadsheet will automatically update. So every time somebody adds to it, when they open it, your details are there.
Yeah, happy days. Okay. Somebody's already started talking about sex on the beach. Just as soon as it goes past 9:15, right? They start. Some of them just think because they're on the old vino and start. Okay, I'm going to let you go, young lady, because I've got some more work to do. I've got a shell and cap, and I've got truffles and all that kind of thing. Really organising this.
No, you know, I think it was. I think you got a nice little group, and I think it's nice that we can do something like this. You know, and I think it's been nice for Home Chocolate Factory to say yes and send all the samples out. Yeah. You know, if any of you are, like I said, if any of you do want the 72 in a 15 kilo, can you let me know? Because then that way I can make sure we can get some stock in and have some idea of stock. Otherwise, like I said, at the moment, that's only been selling in the 4 kilo and no one else has requested the 15 kilo. And I
think that's because it's a 5-drop.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the only thing. I mean, you wouldn't be putting that in a sell me.
No.
But,
like I said, I know someone did message me the other day and asked. So if anybody else is interested, if you let me know, then I can make sure we get that in. Otherwise, that will stay at a 4 kilo. But everything else is 15 or the 4 kilo.
And they need to wait until Monday. They need to wait. Monday.
You're going to get 10% discount if you do wait. So all you need to do is you need to go to the end. If you go to the end where you go to pay and then you put the discount code in at the bottom, and then it will take 10% off your ICAM products.
Can you tell us what the discount code is?
Is what, sorry?
Can you tell us what the discount code is?
No. I'll email it to you.
Okay. Send that to me and I'll do post Sunday night.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, no, I can do that. But like I said, you won't get an extra additional 10% off the nonces if you order the flavoured chocolates. And I think it's a bit misleading calling it a flavoured chocolate because, like I said, it is actually freeze-dried fruit that's in there.
Right. Okay. So I'll do a reminder on Sunday night. What else? And any feedback, let Michelle know. Let me know. I will follow that on. I think it's all through Home Chocolate Factory. If you look at that website, and you'll find them. And there is some Agostini there as well. Which is
there is one. But like I said, if there is a big ask for something else, we can get it in for you. You know, I'm sure that's not going to be an issue. But it will be a case of you will have to order and pay for it, so we don't get stuck with it.
Yeah. It's a dangerous statement, that one.
Yeah. Like I said, we've done that before with some of other brands, like of the Chocy stuff. We've got something weird and wonderful in, and then the person's come and just not actually then taken it. And it's been like, well, we got this in for you. We're not going to sell it to anybody else.
Yeah.
So if you do want something...
I think you need to make sure you got a lot of that in stock.
Yes.
Because that's the snacking chocolate. Not going to lie. Just... I didn't use much, but most of it's gone.
So what has been everybody's favourite?
Looking at this, it's good. There's quite a few comments about the 72, actually. There's quite a few comments on 72. I'll just be scrolling through. The caramel, obviously, has been a massive winner. Right?
Yeah.
It's very, very different to what we've all been able to get, and it's limited. It's limited to gold or Zephyr. The price of Zephyr, people don't really want to buy it.
No. Caramel with dark chocolate.
Apparently mixing the caramel and the dark chocolate together. Mrs. So Sassy said, try the 72 with a little piece of that one.
We need to give that a go then. Any excuse to eat more caramel.
God, my job sucks. Just, you know.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. A few weeks ago, I brought some of this home, and my daughter tried. My kids are about similar sort of age to yours. My daughter tried the Mabel. She didn't see the packaging because the packaging was the other way around, and she guessed the percentage of the cocoa when she tasted it. I was like, what are we producing?
Mine are 12, 10 and 7, right? And they all like different things. They all like different percentages, and they know what they like. Sophia was in here today doing chocolates and stuff with me.
Yeah, I saw.
And they got specific ideas. I worked for Marco for quite a few years, and he would always make us put the two things together and eat them. And he's like, if your brain doesn't make sense of it straight away, it ain't going on the menu.
Yeah.
Right? So we'd just all walk around making these like triple sandwiches of stuff, trying to.
That is.
How's that work?
Yeah, really good. The other flavours as well is I would never put more than 3 flavours together.
Yeah.
Because your palate just gets confused. So if you're looking at fillings, don't go more than 3 flavours. Your brain is just not going to understand it.
You're saying what I say on the channel all the time. Simple cells. Simple cells, and it's like the chocolates which got the 3 layers in. You know, it's a tough one, and I know it's very, very clever. But the customers that are eating it, they don't know how difficult it is to do those 3 layers because they're already interested in taste, right? So if that gel isn't enough, they go, well, I couldn't taste a cherry, right? And if that middle layer isn't tart enough, they're like, well, I can't taste cheesecake.
Yeah.
You know, and it's you're at that, but you've got 3 layers, 3 different flavors, 3 different textures, and then a shell on the outside. It just gets confusing.
Yeah. Right? I think sometimes it's nice to have a textured layer going through there because I think, you know, textures is interesting and it does add value to the product. Yeah. Especially in bars and things like that.
Here's the thing. So I judge on a competition circuit, and with the international chef thing, chefs seem to be afraid to go with, I'm just going to go with an amazing chocolate ganache.
Yeah. Let the chocolate do its singing. Let it sing.
And the ones that have got the confidence to do it walk off with the bloody gold.
Yeah.
And the guys that have tried too hard go, well, that's not fair. It's like, well, no, he nailed it. You've got 11 grams to impress me.
Yeah.
He made an amazing chocolate ganache that wasn't grainy and it was fluid. He nailed it. And it did what it said on the can. You did 3 layers and we can find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was, you know, I don't know how was Daniel very like 3 things on a plate plus a sauce?
Yeah. For sure. Lots of textures. My desserts, everything at one stage had a foam, a twirl, something fresh, and it had everything on it.
And
however,
the great.
However, the flavours might have only been 1 flavour or 2 flavours on there completely.
All the textures there. So yeah, it's, you know, any more.
But I found I've eaten in a lot of places. I mean, going away from chocolates, but I've eaten in a lot of Michelin star restaurants. Before I had kids, it's what my pastime would be, was going out and eating. And I found that the higher up you went in the stars, the more simple the food got.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, I went from 1 star to 3 at Ballroom, and at 1 star it was lots of little garnishes and little fiddly bits of dried apple, and you know, kind of all that stuff. And you know, like there'd be a scallop dish, and there'd be kind of 8 or 10 things that kind of went with it, right? You go up to 3 star, the scallops were hand dived. The cauliflower, we knew where it came from. The raisins were, you know, we were using a Pedro, you know, vintage vinegar to make a syrup from. It was a different level of ingredients, but less on the plate. Like there was a salmon dish. There was a salmon dish, but we knew the man that caught the salmon, right? And it came down by courier, and it was, you know, so I'm not going to say it got easier. The details got worse. Yeah. Imagine piping. You pipe stuff onto plates, and then it gets thrown. You're like,
if your customers are going to come back to you, it's because it's consistent. They know what they're going to get. It's like McDonald's, okay? It's the most consistent place you'll ever go to. You know what you're getting every single time.
I think you need to do that with chocolate as well.
Yeah, and it's about sometimes simplicity and consistency, and your customers will come back because they're enjoying what you do. And your story, you do. Yeah.
If it tastes good, they come back. And that's the same in all food outlets, you know, from a burger van that just does a very good product and the queues down the street.
Yeah.
Right. And it's, taste is everything. I think people get, I mean, I make all this stuff. You can make pretty colours, but if the inside isn't tasty, you might not get a return sale, and you need the return sale because every time you sell some, ideally you should get a bounce back. I think these chocolates will make a big dent. They're cost effective. Certainly great to have a new product in the UK market as well, because it's been a little bit one-sided up until recently.
No, I think it's definitely, like I said, when I tasted them, I messaged you. I just thought you've got to try them, you know, and let everyone else give them a bash and see what they think.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to some feedback. I think you know, I think we talked enough about them. I really like them. I bought lots of them. I'm going to use it. The Mabel is going to be my go-to dark chocolate, mid-range. Love the white. There's so many opportunities with that white because it's not sweet. Like I can get that to go a savoury route quite easily.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that was the interesting thing. Just it's got more milk in it than a white chocolate. So, are you getting served a cup of tea?
No, I wish I was. my phone's about to die. I need a cable.
Okay.
Well,
I'm going to let you go because it's gone 9:30 and I've got to go run a competition because somebody's going to win some cocoa butters tonight. Michelle, if I ever catch up with you during the week, if anybody's got any feedback, you can fire it over to me about the chocolate. If you've got questions, you can either message me or Michelle, whichever, or Home Chocolate Factory, email them, and we'll try and get the answers out and see if we get some nice chocolate out in the market that's a little bit different for everybody.
Yeah, I'd be love to see what everybody's doing as well. Yeah,
should we not have a hashtag on this one?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me have a think.
Okay.
Let me have a think. With a little hashtags, just so everybody can find who made what, and obviously tag ICAM Professional. It's ICAM for Professionals. I tried to find Agostini chocolate. Turns out it's somebody's actual page, so they're getting a major hit of stuff at the minute. But I'll catch up with you during the week, Michelle, and we'll just have a natter about, you know, maybe some other stuff that we can do.
Amazing. Thanks, James. I'm now getting a cup of tea.
You'll have to exit because I'm just going to tell everybody about competition. So
cool. No, that's fine.
I'll see you really soon. Right. I'm going to get away in a minute. That was really lovely to just have a natter about the chocolates. I think you all enjoyed them. I'm pretty sure everybody enjoyed them. I really enjoyed working with these today. I made... I might as well show you. I'll try not to get my pinkies all over these. But that was green on one side, going through to... I sprayed, on one side of the mould we sprayed forest green, and then on the other side I just dusted the red chrome, and that's how it came out. But done all these. I did all my collection today. So we've got 64 boxes of 12 that we've done, and I've done that all with the ICAM, and it worked really, really nice for me. Some really interesting things in there. I don't know. Oh, I turned my camera off for some reason. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let me just see what questions we got. Okay. Right, have a nice weekend, everybody. I'm going to go and do the competition now, so I will announce in stories a little bit later who's won a couple of bottles, or at least 4 or 5 bottles of cocoa butter. Thank you for joining tonight. Please head over to Home Chocolate Factory because they're the ones that are selling this chocolate. Sorry that we can't get it out to everybody that's out in the world, but you know. And do what we can do. Have a lovely week. Well done to everybody that started business this week. Thank you to everybody for tagging me in the bits and pieces that you made. Keep up the chocolate work. Don't make it complicated. Keep it simple. Keep it simple and you'll keep doing it. When you make it complicated, you scratch your head and you get frustrated, all right? This does not need to be a difficult process doing bonbons particularly. If you've got problems, get in touch. If you want lessons, you know where I am. The airbrushing class is going really, really well. I will announce the winner of the competition shortly. And another quick shout out to Jason at JC Chocolates. He's just done one of the best posts I've seen so far this year about the Irish cocoa. So I think maybe he's going to win a few bottles just for that. But everybody have a good week and I'll see you very soon, guys. Take care.